should be live. Here we go. Hi, Russ here, and it's Flying Saucer Television and UFO Paranormal TV, and I have got Drew and Drew Nicholas. Is it Nicholas?
Yeah, Nicholas.
Yeah. I always. Oh, hang on. Flipping heck. Right.
You okay?
Yeah. Falling out of the chair. So, Drew, what we're going to talk about tonight is about you. And how did you get started? Because everybody must have seen, if you've been alive on this planet, that obviously you're doing a great job out there with your shows and this collective where there's groups of people what you've got together, basically sort of like doing shows and getting this subject out there, sort of like doing a fantastic job. So where did it all start for you, Drew?
Okay, so in 2016, originally, I was doing spiritual readings on social media. I started getting to be known for spiritual readings because I'm a spiritualist. I've been called so many names, by the way, with that. I've been called clairvoyance, medium, psychic, primary psychic. But I'll explain all that due course.
Yeah.
So I started doing social media shows with doing readings, connecting with paranormal teams. Just started doing that. That's what I was recognized for. That's why I got my. I don't like talking about numbers of viewers, but that's where I got my audience from. And I just started getting out there. They were known as what we do. And then from a couple of months down the line, then 2017 reaches in, we were like, right, we want to open a paranormal team up because we feel like our spiritual side is we enjoy the paranormal. We enjoy getting out because it helps the mental health, but also helps others as well. So we made a decision because we've been paranormal investigating for years. Before going into anything else, we just wanted to do our own things without people knowing, privately and quietly. So that's how we really started out with that area. We went from there being into wanting to do stuff on social media. So we said, right, let's think of a name. So we come up with a name called Paranormal Postmodern. So Paranormal Postmodern was my team. Over the years, we started going to houses, locations, started getting progress. We got called in the paranormal field. We got called crazy people, clowns. We were after number, fame. We're after the whole lot. We got called things, but it didn't stop us. It thrived us. It kept us going. It kept us like saying, "Nah, I'm gonna prove you wrong and keep proving you wrong. The more you say to me, the more I'll do it." So I went as more as we made a newspaper through friends of ours. We started getting interviewed. We were having 4,500,000 listening to the radio shows. We started getting bigger and popular. We started getting into magazines, books. We had books written, our names taken out of our groups and stories being taken around it. So we just started again through the popular system where we didn't care about the numbers. We were popular for who we are. That's all I care about. I didn't really care about what anything or anyone said about. I just wanted to do what I do best for the paranormal field. Yeah. And basically, we went from there. My wife then come pregnant in 2019. I made a decision, carry on for a little bit until due date. And we carried on. We both did, carried on right up there. 2019, coming to 2020, we decided to stop doing investigations and do podcasts more often with other team with some great networks. My friend Kyle, I've had a few people on working with me. It's always something going to happen, just to let you know. Falling out or be friends for life. But if you found your own journey, you got to take your journey just to get away, just to let everyone understand. So I went into that. I went into podcasting, started working with some great people, um, and I was interviewing a lot of paranormal teams, started getting known them, and I worked with a lot of people. Yes, I did fall in that with few, but that's just happens in the paranormal field. No matter what it does, it happens. You're gonna have that problem. It's either a road you got to take on your own, or it's a road for someone else. It happens. But at the end of the day, we'll still always come there and still support that bully. Or if they feel like they're bullies, well, at the end of the day, we'll still be there for them. If you get what I mean.
Yeah.
No matter what the situation, it still shows the support and care. It's paranormal at the end of the day. But I went from being to paranormal. Then I started interviewing artists, and then I went from enjoying that. I wanted to do more with the movie system, so I was choosing which way I wanted to go: paranormal, spiritual, movies, and music. And I had some great connections due to the fact of like the industry of being an entertainer, being an investigator, spiritualist. That's how I got my connections. That's doing my thing. Never used anyone, never done anything like that. Out of all that, then I just follow through. I actually follow through. Chatting to people, chatting with the great guys. Met John and Phil from Red Ridge Paranormal. Worked with them for a bit. They absolutely keep records of me doing spiritual readings, testimonies. I got loads of testimonies being working with paranormal investigators. That's one thing I can really, really good at. Is that's a bit of an ego there, and there was. But nah, I'm
Sometimes
not
you've
using
got
it.
to have.
Yeah, sometimes just to get yourself boosted up. So I started coming into then having a chat with movie actors roughly about 2021, 2022. Started introducing, I met you, and then I met a few others. I met Alan Absher. I got a pleasure. I messaged Sean Cannon through Instagram, and I told him what I was doing one day, and I said, "Look, are you available for just a half an hour or 30 minutes talk?" He was free for a 30 minutes talk, and I said, "Would it be possible you can come on my show?" And out of nowhere, in a Miggle books, he literally, I got given by through Alan Absher and a few other guys the contact details, but now I don't know what's going on there. But yeah, next minute I knew it, I started getting more interviews with the movie world, and started getting more. I started meeting some crazy connections, started working really hard, and all I knew it, 2023 comes. I met some great guys, David J. Paul, Jarrell from, it's on Disney Plus. Now he's not Black Panther, but it's a part of the story of Black Panther, and I got to meet him. Now he's part of my co-host, which is a great element to have him as a great host. I started getting some big people in, and next minute I knew it, that's where we're going. And some great artists and authors and directors. They're all great, every one of them, including the paranormal field. Anyone who's doing it, they're all great. And that's how I started. I just started from there and just went with the flow.
Sounds good. It sounds good. So, um, have you been out on many ghost hunts at all?
Since my nervous breakdown in 2020, between 2020 and 2021, I did go to a few, but
Hmm.
um, in my eyes, I stopped doing it in that part area. But I did go to a few, yeah.
And without being wanting to appear rude, did that have any, anything to do with the problem that you'd taken ill?
So yeah, when I lost my ability to walk, my spinal had some damage, which needs a massive operation.
Right.
Um, it really did have an operation. It needs an operation. Sorry,
Right. Yeah.
sorry. I'm just gone into an ADHD mood. Just 2 seconds because I got something distracting me. I apologize, Russ.
Oh, you're
Um,
right.
okay, so I'm waiting for an operation on my back. I lost the ability to walk like longer distance. I can't walk to
Right.
the shop, and I'm in pain. And then I collapse on the floor
Right.
in agony. Um, so some of it's to do with my illness, and some of it's to do with I lost
We've got
my.
somebody called Jarell Pro. Is it J Pro? Come
Bring him
on.
on. Yeah, yeah,
Here we
yeah. Bring him
go.
on.
Yeah. There we are.
Hey, what's going
Hello,
on, God of War?
how you doing?
You're right, brother. We were just in the show a minute ago. This is Jarrell from God of War, but also from
Hi there.
um
Hi, Russ. How you doing?
Yeah, not too bad. Thanks yourself.
I'm good. Did I say your name right?
I get called all sorts. Yeah, you'll be right.
Okay.
You usually it's a swear word. What are you? Oh, all right.
Really?
Oh yeah, all the time.
Hey, well, if my woman calls me my name a few times, I think it's a swear word too. For real.
Oh dear.
Oh, Jarrell, I missed you, bro. I literally only had you for like a couple of minutes, and I literally had you on the live, and I just
Yeah, I
missed
was
you.
talking to Santa for a bit, man. Santa was talking.
It was he cool? Is he coming back
Yeah,
on?
Santa's cool, man. Santa's cool.
Yeah. So,
Yeah.
Jarrell, explain yourself to Russ if you want, man. Russ is a good friend of mine, a UFO paranormal investigator.
Oh, that's
So,
heat.
anything. So,
Amongst other things.
Are you in the UK as well?
I am. Yeah. Yeah.
Nice.
I'm over on the east coast. Um, uh,
Nice.
a little shipping. A fishing village called Filey. It's been a scene of quite a lot of UFO activity, and
Really?
oh yeah, very famous case around here in the 70s where an American pilot were chasing after a UFO, and everything went dead. And when they were talking, to headquarters, and they found the aircraft in the sea, just 20 miles down from where I live. And
Whoa.
when they went and they pulled the aircraft out of the sea, there were no pilot. There were no pilot, and the cockpit hadn't been opened, but yet it wasn't there. And
Wow.
I'm filming flying triangles coming out of the bay where I live. So they're in come out of the sea, and then they take off and into the sky and fly down. And
Wow.
you can see that on Flying Saucer television on YouTube. And then I was filming one time with my friend a UFO, and it zapped me.
Wow.
You can see it zap me in slow motion, and when you slow it down, you can see six balls come down and hit the camera. And obviously, I'm filming, so I'm behind the camera. What it hit, and I said
Whoa.
to my friend, I felt like this power go down and up my body.
Now
So
let me
I
ask you
felt
this. Do you think
thoughts.
I'm curious, do you think they did that for you not to show it, or do you think they did that because they felt like you were attacking them?
No, I'm an abductee, so I've been taken all my life. They've been taking me since I was first time on my motorbike when I was 16 year old, and they put me into a military unit, and I've
Mm.
been in this war fighting alongside them since I was 16 year old. So
Wow.
um, people go, "You're crazy." Well, I am crazy, but the thing is, it happened, and it has happened,
Yeah.
and but it's hard to understand it. I mean, it is. It's hard for anybody to understand. I mean,
Yeah.
I hear other people talking about, and I think, and I've got to stand back and say, well, look, wait a minute, this has happened to you as well, so you can't judge people. You know what I mean? How can I judge other people that are telling about their abductions, because if it's happened to me,
Right.
you know.
It's mad though, isn't it?
Yeah. It's cool,
So
but yeah.
that is an amazing picture behind you.
Oh, thank you. That's my
They
film.
both are. Don't get me wrong, but
No,
wow,
that's the film I'm working on. Hold on.
That's his next movie he's working on. One of the biggest games in the world, and he's literally gonna make that movie God of War.
Yeah, that's what I'm working on.
flipping heck.
Yeah,
That
Yeah,
God of
is
that's
War is one of the
amazing.
biggest games.
yeah, that's my baby. I'm working on filming it in May. I created the whole story and everything.
Wow. Well, good luck with that.
Oh, thank you, man. I mean, I'm all about creating stuff, and I feel like if I'm not creating something, I might as well just kill myself. You know, I might as well not live if I'm not creating anything. So,
We're gonna make
Yeah.
a movie together, on my trail.
yep, and with
That's our
Santa
plan.
too.
Yeah, we got
Yeah.
a wicked movie.
Funnily enough, last week I was talking to somebody who had read my book, about my life in this military unit, and turned around and says, like, this should be a film.
Hmm.
So now the second person about 2 days ago said the same thing about being in the film, sort of thing. So, like, somebody said the same thing, but with a bit of clout, in film industry. So,
Yeah.
we'll just have to see, sort
No,
of
you
like,
totally should, man. Why not?
yeah. But, yeah, it's quite amazing is that picture. It really is.
Appreciate
It
it.
just, it draws you to the picture. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's why we
Sorry,
did
anyway. Sorry.
it. No, that's why I did it. I wanted that to happen. Mission accomplished.
Well, that's good. That's good marketing. That is good marketing, because while we're talking, I just keep on having to look. I'm sort of like looking at both ways. You know what I mean? Wow.
Yeah, that's kind of what I went for, man.
So, are you yourself? Well, you've done it. You've just you've done what you've achieved what you set out to do. So, have you had any paranormal experiences yourself, if you don't mind me asking?
I mean, I'm not like Drew. I don't feel like I don't really have I don't have relationships with spirits like that. However, I do feel like I'm inspired and I am moved by spirits. I feel like energy. I'm real big. I'm a real big believer in the law of harmonious rhythm. I believe in the cycle of life and how everything flows. And I feel like as long as you move into the motion that the world is going to flow in anyway, everything happens the way it's going to happen regardless. So I believe that there are a lot of energies that direct me to move certain ways, and I always like tap into my spirit and I just let go. So I believe in the spirit of within. I always let go of whatever I am afraid of or scared of, and I just do it. That's my way of saying that's my spirit moving it versus me. Every time I try to fight the spirit that's within me, bad things always happen. But when I don't, great things always happen. So I'm very connected
Wow.
spiritually.
He's
So
like
I don't,
me. I have
yeah,
fire
I don't
speed.
speak to them, but I feel them. Like I feel like it's a part of my superpower. And I don't know, I always do the right thing at the
Wow,
right
that's
time.
amazing.
Everything happens
But
perfectly.
synchronicity.
Yep, that's it. That's the word I was trying to think of. That is it. Yeah, that's it.
Synchronicity, yeah. Sometimes things, just fall into place. You might
Yep.
meet somebody and, sort of like it might start something else and moving in a different way. And then it comes to where you were going in the first place in the right direction,
Yep.
you know.
It's like
Um,
a sign too.
and it's like
They give a
sometimes
sign.
you meet people, sometimes and you split, and then sometimes you meet other people and you carry on this journey,
Yep.
But
I agree.
I'm very much, I suppose I'm the opposite. I'm sort of like chaos factor. You know what I mean? Sort of like
Yeah.
I do things and I go totally opposite direction. You know what I mean? I
Yeah.
do things and sort of like, and it causes consequences. And the
Right.
consequences is I say something because, sort of like sometimes, like if you've had so much going against you and getting attacked and you're getting people coming and wanting you to do things and you just can't be, and you just say the wrong thing at the wrong time. And
Right.
being big, right? Like
Right.
this documentary maker got in touch, and I would just so many things had happened in the past week, and this guy had contacted us, and he was patronising when he was talking. Oh yeah, I've read about you and all this lot, and I just felt, and I just said no, and at the end he turned around and he gives it, he says you're so hard work, you're so much, hard work, and you must have had some real crap in your life for you to turn out the way you've turned out. Wow, you know what I mean? Sort of like so that, sort of like documentary. Just that one for me.
Right. It just turned. Yeah.
You know
I
what I
guess
mean?
also as you go on this journey, you start to realize which one is the good spirit and which one is the bad spirit, and then that's when you can determine which one to listen to versus which one to go against. So I feel like I'm finding out as I find my way following the right spirit, I can figure out which ones are the bad ones too. Always.
Yeah, I know what you're saying. I know
Yeah.
what you're saying. And I used to have friends and they'd tell me things and they'd say, oh, we should do this or I think you should do this. And one in particular about we were making this documentary. And no, I don't like the feel of this. This company, it was BBC actually. He says I don't think we should work with them, because I asked him to come on to this documentary and be part of it with me, and he said no. And the next thing, about 3 weeks later, right, he turned around and he goes, "I've been asked to do a documentary, but you can come along as well if you want." He said it's, and I said, "Who was it with?" And he said BBC.
Wow.
I could not believe it. And the thing is, I went with him, and we filmed with a guy over here. He's an A-list, sort of like film, an actor
Okay.
called Danny Dyer, and we filmed at my house for about 5 hours about UFOs and going out filming and stuff. And the next day, I got a phone call saying, "You'll never guess what they've done." And I said, "What?" He says, "Your part in the documentary." And I says, "Yeah." He says, "They pulled it. They've pulled your part in the documentary."
Wow.
Sort of like, so like, there's a name for it. What do they call it when you're editing? They cut you out
Edited. Yeah, they
and you end
edited
up
it
on
out.
the floor. Editor's cut. So, never mind. It's
That's
just
crazy.
ups and downs, ups and downs. Sort of. It happens a lot over here. It happens a lot.
Over here too.
Sort of.
I think, yeah, they always edit the things that they don't want. Only to edit the things that they want to try to sell. Everything's a big sale. I'm learning.
It is. It is. But what we've got now, we've got hopefully some big things coming up because all my video footage now seems to go to a big newspaper over here
Cool.
called Daily Star Sun. So my videos end up on their website. So sometimes it'll make the newspaper in the proper paper form. But what they do is then they put the actual video. They'll do a thing about me, a write up,
Hmm.
feature, and then they'll do a special feature. It's going on. We've got things going on like that. So we're just waiting now for Drew to do something, aren't we, Drew?
We got so much going on. We already made the Marvel Cross handover with Joel. Joel's already put us like on there. That was wicked.
We've got another friend. Hello.
Hey, what's going on, Santa Dave?
Hey, hey.
Santa Dave.
Santa Dave is like my other friend from America. He's a little movie actor. So,
hi, Santa. Welcome to the show.
How are you? I'm putting my dog out.
Santa Dave, find some signal. Find some signal on that.
Can you hear me?
We hear you.
Yeah, this internet's been rough here.
It looks so.
Hey,
it looks
how
so
you making out, guys? Yeah, I moved around my house. My poor dog needed to go out.
Oh, there you go.
Better, Santa Dave.
Yeah.
Santa Dave, this is Russ. Russ, Santa Dave.
Nice to meet you, buddy. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too.
Thank you.
Russ, I'm really curious though about the since you said you were in the military, so I want to go back to that. Like, I'm curious of like, so when they because clearly they didn't hurt you when you saw the UFO, right? So they must have liked you. I guess I'm trying to understand like what set you apart? Why did they? I don't know.
Right. Well, do you mean when they zapped me when I was filming? Do you mean that was just something else that happened? I mean, I go out and I film all the time. I just got a new camera bought for me, so I'm going to start going out and filming, some new footage. But this is before I started filming, and it's their military. I'm not in a military unit, a regular army in my country. What they did when they abducted me, they put me in this unit, and it's called a mega unit. And I was a scout in a mega unit. So we've been fighting this war, and it's around other planets on this planet, and you can have, say, like in America, you might have 3 different groups, and there's 3 different groups of aliens fighting for 3 different groups in your country. So you're the president, sort of like is about, I don't know, halfway up the sort of like secret level, in the majestic level, that is, and he won't even know about it. It's all to do with big business. It's the people that run the businesses that are running the show. And politics. It's like politics. Basically, the politicians are paid by the media, so the media run what's going on. And it's like, for instance, we've had 4 objects in America shot down, right? Yeah. And the thing, you're shooting objects down that you do not know what they are.
Right.
Now, the problem is, could we have a pandemic? Because if you've shot something down, what's it got on board? You never know, chemical, biological, or nuclear.
Right.
It's not nuclear, but could it be chemical and biological? And the problem is, we might find out. It might not be right away. It might be in a few weeks. It might be in a few months.
Yeah, that's actually true.
Why did they do that? And sort of like, nobody said, if you shot something down, that means it must have been a threat.
It could have been a good thing too, right?
Well, this is it. But the thing is, they're not telling us anything. And I mean, they're talking about, a 2,000-year-old balloons, Chinese balloons, hot air balloons go back to 2,000 years old. You know, they used to chuck all sorts of stuff down on people. You know, like burning tar and stuff down below on people. You know, in battles and stuff. Now the thing is, you've got £1 billion worth of satellites flying around above, and some fantastic aircraft with cameras that can take a photograph miles up,
Right.
and you know, basically, it can tell you what kind of cigarettes you're smoking. You know,
Right.
we've got another friend. Is it
Ew.
Phil? Hi, Phil. Welcome.
Hiya. Hope everyone is well.
It felt
Not
Yeah.
not too bad. How are you?
Yeah, I'm absolutely spot on, Russ. Thank you. And hi to everyone in back. And hi, Drew. How you doing, buddy?
Has it just frozen a
I'm
little
doing
bit?
great, Chief. I'm doing great.
I love Phil. Phil's awesome.
All right, Jarrell. How you doing, buddy?
I'm
and
good,
Santa
man.
Day.
How are you,
Absolutely
sir?
jealous.
But no, Russ, you bring up a good point.
Oh, yeah,
Like,
forgot to mention.
why do we always resort straight to violence first instead of trying to figure out the situation before? Because I mean, like you said, it could have been a bad thing or it could have been a good thing. Either way.
Well, the thing is, at the end of the day, by an hostile act of shooting these things down out of the sky, that's an hostile act committed
Yep.
by America.
Yep.
You know, sort of like, so if one was definitely a balloon, what was the other three craft, or what was the craft? You know, and sort of like, what's going to be the repercussions? Because, you know, when I'm telling people I've been abducted, I will put into a military unit from 16-year-old to like 5 years ago. I'm not saying that just look at me. I'm telling people this is something you do not want, right? Yeah.
Right.
There's people being abducted by the thousands. In my country, in England, right, we have something like 250,000 people go missing a year. I've found out now the statistics of how many people are actually found out of those numbers. 1,000 people are found later,
Wow.
right? That's astonishing. I mean, if you look at it realistically, how many years down the line is it going to be before there's nobody left in my country?
Right.
You know, how many is it? Have we got something like 70 million people that live in the United Kingdom, I think. So if you're having, on average, 250,000 people going missing every year, you know, so that's a worrying fact. And nobody's willing to talk about this.
Yeah.
And
But
I've been
you-
talking about it 10 years.
I mean, if you think about it, though, I mean, in America, we have a president that can't even walk up the stairs. So, I mean, it's kind of like, what do you expect?
Don't talk to me
you
about
shouldn't be saying that.
Andre,
Oh.
if you'd see me
I mean,
today about my
Bro, this is a
painkillers,
quick. Naughty.
I'm worse than him.
I mean,
I'm worse than him.
don't get me wrong, he has a hard job, and I mean, I'm not saying that he's belittled. I'm just saying, like, when it comes to making, you know, the best decisions, I mean, it's not like he's been trained in this or he's knowing, you know, what to do in this situation. So, I mean,
Well, the thing
he's not George Washington.
well, the thing that spoils this for me with all politicians is the fact, and more so in my country, no time for politicians. They're all millionaires, right? Yeah. And they say, we came to this country, we had nothing.
Yeah.
You've got something now. You've got something now, you know what I mean? And you're all millionaires. And this is a problem. My dad said to me, he says, when he was playing football, when he came out of army, he says, you know, they'd play on a weekend and they'd play for a few quid. That's all. They didn't have all this money thrown at them. you know, and that spoils the game. I think as
Yeah.
much as, but you know, it's a case of you you do things for your country and its people, right? Yeah, and it's the vocation that you've got for
Yeah.
your people and your country. It's not about money.
It shouldn't
It's
be.
not.
Right. It
It
shouldn't
shouldn't
be.
be about money. No, and you know, the thing is, it's like we told, and the problem is, and people repeat nonsense, and this is the problem, because you have people saying, "Oh well, of course, because of the war, that we're paying this money for all the oil and what have you," and we're not, because what we do in my country, right? Yeah, we sell our oil cheap to Europe, right, and then we've got to buy oil in from Sweden, right? Yeah, and Denmark,
Hmm.
right? Yeah, and why? We've got the companies, we've got the oil there in the North Sea, and we charge our own people this money, this horrendous amount of money for gas and electricity,
Yeah.
but we give it to away to Europe, and
But you know what it
nobody
is
can.
though, right? It's literally modern day slavery
Oh, of
without
course it is.
having the technical look of slavery. And
No,
then the way that they trap people in their own mindset, they're
yeah,
slaves of their mind. The mind is the slave.
that's right. I mean, one of the things that I've been talking about, and they don't like this with the BBC when I'm talking about people going missing. You know, oh, you can't say that. And then when their researchers go and look and this, oh well, oh yeah, we've been in touch with missing persons, and am I right? Well, actually, it was the figures are actually more than what you said. I said 160,000. This is 10 years ago had gone missing, and it were 190,000. So anyway, thank you, Mr. Kelly. Thank you for being on the show. And I was straight off
Mhm.
because they realized what I said was true. But the thing is, when we're taken and put into these military units, there's not only military units, there's slaves, there's people that have been used for sex slaves, women,
Yeah.
and there's men being used for slaves. The big thing, what I've come across, which is frightening, and that is the talk about some of these people have been used for food, for the Dragos, this dragon race that I came across.
Mhm.
Unbelievable. They give me the shivers. And you know, the fact of the matter is, what's going on around the universe in these battles, what we've been brought into, right, is happening on this planet, because there's underground bases and there's things going on you wouldn't believe. I mean, it's like, for instance, the media. What is really going on in people's country? You don't know,
No.
because the thing is, the media are not showing you what is really happening.
But yeah, think about it. They shouldn't.
They shouldn't.
It's it sucks, but they really shouldn't, because if you think about it, if that would cause mass hysteria, and that would just make it way worse, because people would do way more harmful and hurtful things to other people to protect themselves from what they've been told or what they know.
But the problem with that is, if it's the government doing this in the first place, I mean, I found out something by accident by watching these guys that go around and um, they call themselves podcast journalists, right? Yeah, and they've got a right with a camera to go out on any public property, any road, any highway that's public,
Mhm.
and you can film. As long as it's not on private property, you can film anything
Anything
you
you want.
can see. Now, there's a few problems with this, because, like, there's, sort of like children sometimes in schools and gardens. What do you call it? Where they are and what have you, school kids, and you might get people that are preying on, like, paedophiles, and sort of like, and they'll walk around and video in public and sort of like going into shopping malls and stuff, and that's the same, and sort of like, but by law they are allowed to film anywhere if it's public,
Yeah.
right? Now, something I came across, and I've come across this 3 times, and this is a big worry. One of the guys says, I'm just coming across here, and there's this new place, it's a prison that's been opened. And he gives, and this chap works next door, and he says, oh, yeah, I'm part of that. So he says, what's that big chimney then, what they've just built there? There's a big chimney down, and he says, it's a crematorium.
Mm.
And he said, a crematorium, and I'm thinking to myself, a crematorium, and there's a prison down there, and it's a prison crematorium. Well, how many people die to sort of like just having a crematorium? I've only seen this now in my country 3 times, 3 different podcast journalists, prisons with these big chimneys.
And they're like burning people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is like Auschwitz, and there's nobody saying anything.
Yeah.
The guy, he was escorted off of the property by security and the police, and he was told not to go back. And like he said, well, he said it's not private property, it's public, and I'm not doing. And they said causing a disturbance, and if you don't leave, so there's all these strange things that are going on
that we don't supposed to know about. Yeah.
Sort of like, and farms being told that they'll get a bonus if they sell the farms. And this is happening in Australia, and I've been told it's happening in America also. That farmers have been told that if you sell all your cattle, we'll give you a bonus for these cattle. And it's more, double than what you would get selling them. Sort of like a cattle auction and what have you.
I mean, I could believe it. It makes sense. I could definitely believe that.
Yeah, but why? Why would they want to? And they're basically saying that they don't want any more food to be reared. They don't want to rear food. Now, in a country, sort of like that's got a large population, that is something that you want, food for your people. The more food you grow, the better it is, because you're feeding starving people. So this is something else, what I'm looking into, sort of like I've been told, Russ, you're a goner. You're going to get slaughtered. You're asked too many questions.
Yeah, because, they don't want you to know or find out too much stuff, man.
It's too late. It's too late. I've been telling, I've actually been talking and telling people, apart from in my own country, sort of like you get ufologists and what have you, and you get them that sort of like, and they haven't got a clue. Unfortunately, me being an abductee,
is that what your mission is, right? As of like now, this is what you're going to do, or what are you?
Oh hell yeah! I've been doing it now for years. I've been sort of like.
I mean, you seem to be okay right now, so I mean, it might not be that bad. You've been doing it for years.
The thing is, yeah, I mean, I've been in the past 2 years. I think Drew knows this. I think I've been on the front page of some of the big newspapers in my country, which go out to America and Europe as well.
That's crazy.
I've been, sort of like been on front page about three times, and about 5 times on page 9 or 10, a full spread. Me and Robbie Williams, the singer, because I'd told somebody, and they'd, said, yeah, this is what Russ Kelly said. He met when he went in his unit, he turned around and he saw Robbie Williams. So one of the journalists asked me, and I said, no, I'll tell you what I said. I said, when I turned around and I said to a guy who were in my unit, don't I know you from somewhere? You look like that lad from that band. Take that. Do I know you? And he goes, I don't know. And I was told to get back in line, you know, sort of like, and because there was a mission
Right.
going ahead. And so that was supposed to go in, I think it went in page 8, but it was supposed to go on the front page, that. But because of Boris Johnson did something or didn't do something, Boris Johnson, the Muppet, he made the front page.
Wow. Hey,
Oh, dear.
you really seem like a cool guy, Russ, man. Like, I love it, man.
Oh, you don't know me? I'm not really.
No. I mean, in the sense of more people need to be. I'm not saying everybody needs to be freedom fighters or out here doing what you're doing, but it's important for us to know, because a lot of us are living in this dream state. A lot of us are zombies, man. Like we're just going around doing what they tell us to do. And when I say them, I mean the media. I mean, and there's nothing wrong with it. I get it. People are scared, so they just follow the norm. But I mean, this is information that people need to know, because this is true. This is happening in our backyards.
Oh yeah, I mean, it's like I told about the war, right? Yeah, 3 years ago, I said when I was over in the Eastern Bloc on the border, I spoke about wearing the Russian uniform over the top of we've got something called a life suit, what we wear underneath, right? Yeah, and that keeps us alive and everything. And I said that we had to go over there to lift somebody, basically abduct somebody, right? And we were on the Russian borders. I said this 3 years ago, right? Yeah, when I was talking on a couple of the podcasts, and sort of like I was telling about the war that was coming, and I said, but it's not going to be like a normal war. I said it's going to be more like a civil war, and we're going to be involved.
I
and
think
it's
so.
going to be, and no, there isn't a war. There won't be a war. There's a war. Nobody said anything like Russia were right. You said about Russia, you said that there was going to be a war. We were going to be involved. We've got troops now in my country learning to fight the Russians. Why?
Right.
Why have we got them in my country learning to fight when they've already sent Special Air Service out over to Ukraine? Why not teach them in their own backyard? Why bring them to my country?
Right.
Don't want to have anything to do with a war. Believe me, this is what I'm saying. I'm telling you now, we do not want another war. You know, when you've seen the horrors of what things happen, something you do not want, believe me, that is the last thing that anybody wants.
Yeah, I agree. No, we don't want a
You know?
war. I mean, it would be really nice if we can all find some kind of peaceful resolution. We definitely don't need a war, man. That's the last thing, especially after COVID. We don't need any wars.
Oh, that was a war in itself. COVID.
Yeah.
Right, yeah. COVID, right. There's only one thing, and I can only say that Donald Trump was right what he said. The Chinese basically had a lot to do with that. Plus a certain person, right, yeah, called Bill Gates. But what they did was the COVID, they said what had happened, and they said it was a pandemic, but they didn't stop anybody coming in my country. They didn't stop anybody coming in. A pandemic, you make sure nobody crosses any borders. You stay where you are, right, yeah? So it can't be a pandemic. So what you do then is you actually give people the COVID through injections, because what you're doing is you're making them so scared, right, yeah, that they'll take the injections. And that's how it's passed on, because when you give somebody an injection, a flu injection,
They get sick.
you bring out all this through your pores, right, yeah? You bring out all the actual flu virus, and you can pass it on for 7 days. So that's how it was passed on. So it was given to people through injections first, and then it was passed on. Anyway, and they know this for a fact now. And this is why, people are actually being sued. And they're wanting to sue the people in the government for letting it happen. So, again, the COVID was another war. It was the start of all this,
Yeah.
you know.
And this isn't the first time. I mean, this has been
No,
happening. Yeah,
no. They did it on underground, didn't they, in America? They did it in underground years ago. They've done it in this country. They've let biological weapons, what it does to people. But, to be quite honest, what's going to happen next? This is a big thing. What's the plans next? Because you can be certain of one thing.
Hey, Russ.
Yeah, sorry, I'm just looking at.
It's okay. I wasn't able to stay too long because I have got another meeting after this. But I think the story you told us, the story you was telling us, it's amazing.
Yeah.
And it's nice to actually hear some sort of truth and some sort of situation being released out like that. It's absolutely amazing. And people need to be aware of this. I totally agree with Jarrell.
Yeah.
In a big thing like this in a paranormal theater to release this sort of stuff, they will love to hear more of it. And I think it's important people should hear that more often.
Yeah, well,
totally agree.
I like getting other people's information out. That's
Yeah.
I mean,
Same here.
I was obviously I had my radio show on what do you call it, Revolution Radio years ago, and I was a pirate. I was on pirate radio over here as well. But really, everything now, the way things are going, sort of like people are stopping watching the televisions as much. And I know that there's a lot of people, and what they're doing is they're saving everything and they'll go on to the favourite shows on the internet now rather than going on television.
I think
sort
it's
of like,
because more technologies on mobiles and system like this. It's because they like the entertainment. If the TV's on the shows again boring, then they're saying something. They'd be looking forward for the movies. That's what they want more. Or they want to look forward to a certain episode. My son's in the background playing, so I do apologize.
That's true.
But
it's all right.
what people are looking for is entertainment and joyful and for laugh. And that's what they look for. And if you could bring laugh and entertainment and enjoyable, then that's what they're going to do is shut down the TV and say, well, my favorite live people's going on from YouTube to Facebook to social media. It's and no matter what it does, it's going to bring the people towards that because they find it more fun being on social media. It's like when I found out Jarrell's movie on how do you call the Black Panther one? But because that's time I keep getting this.
Wakanda Forever, Black Panther.
The one he was in, but the one
Wakanda Forever, Black Panther.
Wakanda Forever, yeah, Wakanda Forever. Yeah. So the Wakanda Forever, I actually went to my TV and watched the whole movie, and I tell you now, I'm gonna tell you, he done it pretty good, but also the main character's done it good as well. But it was a bit emotional bit, and then at the very end is when he comes out and says, "Well, who's next for the fight?" Smacks his stick on the ground, and then looking because the princess was busy looking, having fun and that. But it's really, really interesting.
And where can you get it from? Where can you get it from? Is it on Amazon?
Disney Plus, man.
Disney Plus.
I'm on, what do you call it? Terrible. I'm on
Discovery Plus.
Discovery Plus. Oh God.
Okay. Cool.
I'm gonna make my own film. Seriously, I've decided.
You should, man.
For myself, the next shows on entertainment is due this week. I gotta make the next poster tonight, believe it or not. can't remember who it is now. I know it's one of the guys. They're gonna kill me because I didn't correctly post it in time. But um, I've got multiple movie actors coming on, but
Right.
like we got one of the biggest called Nico. Is it Nico? If I got it right,
Yeah,
if I called him,
yeah, that's it. Nico El
yeah,
Santo.
Nico Nosanto. He's one of the biggest
Yeah, he's been
movie
acting
actors as
forever.
well. He's
Yeah,
been
he's been
acting
acting
since
forever.
1975.
Yeah.
So
I seem to know
spot on.
that name.
It's very popular with was it?
In
Was it
America.
Meet My
Oh,
Friends?
my best friend's wedding, I think it is,
Yeah.
with Julia Roberts.
Right.
It's super old.
Oh, right.
Yeah,
So
Julie
yeah.
Roberts.
we got some things going on, but just to get my name out there for the spiritual stuff, I was known for that, and then my readings come spot on. I loaded testimonies coming from people. I even predicted to stop someone dying where they actually put a testimony on a recommendation page called Drew Lee Nicholas recommendation page. And they actually put a whole testimony where I actually told his friend like couple of months ago, and I predicted, told her, said, tell your friend to watch out where to walk out. And next minute, he's been walking his path for many years. He never crossed. He kept always on the same path. And
Wow.
decided to get that one day. He decided to cross the path. As he crossed the path, the light post, the light bulb, and all that, the bit it goes over like that. It
Yeah.
falls. It falls right on the spot where he was about to walk.
Wow. It's
And
amazing.
that was literally predicted by me. I've done a lot of missing cases by people ringing me up. They didn't go to the police, and next minute, some of them actually come to me, and I predicted people from sitting in Bristol, and they lived a far distance. I've actually told where people were, and again, explained what they're looking at, explained everything from close to close, what they're tasting, what they're seeing, comes in and out, bam, spot on again. So that
Wow.
comes out with a little testimony. And then I made a national newspaper through to my primary psychic. They call me primary psychic. I started predicting things, what's happening from the past to the future. And it just got his name. It stuck down from there in the paranormal field. I was known to do that. I think my first hit was 1 million at one point.
Wow.
But I'm not about numbers,
Amazing.
like I said. Um, then I moved on forward to then being a podcast now. I'm working with Jarrell. It's not about what he's doing for God of War or movie industry. Jarrell bounced off me really well. Me and Jarrell just really worked together. And what a lot of people didn't see is how we bounced off. And ever since I met him, it helped him as well, but also helps me. But ever since I met him, I can literally sit with Jarrell and literally be me and not be someone who wants me to be straight up and too tight up on the live air because it was too
Right.
much. Someone tried to make me be like that, and it's wrong for anyone in the paranormal field or the movie industry. It's wrong, and all you need to be is loosen up. And when I started being me with Jarrell, and Jarrell started being him, we just collect so massively. We can make anyone giggle once we're around each other. That's it. You got a problem on your hand.
Yeah.
But in this sort of
That is
paranormal
good.
field, it is
Because
where I'm in.
even in the paranormal field, like to be honest, to tell people their readings or even to talk to them, they have to be comfortable with you. So if you can't find a way to have them pull their guard down, they will never listen to you. And if they don't listen
That's
to
it.
you, it defeats the purpose.
Yeah.
So you don't have to be all uptight and tight button. Oh, like that's
Yeah.
no one wants that.
No.
That's all we
I
do.
say if
That's
people
it.
are at ease with you, that's what you want. You know, somebody to be ease with you, and then you get
Exactly.
more
But
from both of you.
but my
That is
next
good.
aim right now for Entertainment DNT, we got our IMDb page up, and we're asking people to mark us between 1 and 10 if they want to as stars on the star system. And whoever we talk to or interview with it and they go on IMB, we'll put them on it for credit and support. So that's what we'll do. Then we'll advertise them like mad and make an offer to them. But the whole
Sounds good.
point of the NTV, it is based from the paranormal, but we moved on to the next level where we want to be. We're stuck with the paranormal, but we also will do movies.
Yeah, because see, my
Because
thing is like the same thing as like we were saying earlier when you were saying about the whole spiritual thing, being moved by the proper spirit is very important when it comes to entertainment.
it is.
It can make and break your career, and that's why we feel like it works hand in hand. It works together.
It does. It really does. And this is where me and him can knowledgeize all this into between. You got paranormal and movie, boom, and then you go, yeah. But I'm like jumping with joy right now, like with a lot of things, and it's been an honor being on your show, Russ. Is
Yeah, man, for
absolutely a
sure.
pleasure being on here.
Well, it's
Yeah, I had a blast.
always great to have you on, and you as well, Jarell. It has been a great evening. I know you're busy, so I will let you go now. It's been an hour, and I will say you'll have to come on again if you like. You're
Yeah,
quite
man.
welcome. And if you
Thank
send
you
me
very
some stuff,
much.
I'll put it up on my Facebook for
Yeah, Drew,
your
Drew can
films and
see.
stuff.
Drew has
And I'm
everything.
putting your stuff up as well with the things.
Sounds good. Yeah, Drew has all my. We got a movie trailer that just came out for this new film. Drew has it. He can send it to you if he doesn't mind. We
No
we
problem.
aired it during the Super Bowl. We had like
Okay.
4,000 views in the first day, so
Wow.
it's doing pretty good. It's a really epic trailer.
That is good, is that? And so what I'll say then, Drew, is if you send me something about I don't know what posters that you're using now, because you sent me a different poster, but I'll put your posters up on my Facebook and on my website as well,
I
because
appreciate it, man. Thank you.
I've
That'd
been
be
doing
great.
that
Thank you
for
very much.
the past 4 weeks. I've had people just hack me and get rid of stuff, so I've had to get it back up and running. So I'll put all the new stuff up now. So what I will say then, Drew, thanks for coming on the show, and Jarell, thanks for coming on the show. It's been a fantastic show, and I will say good night and God bless, and take care, and
You too,
all
man.
the best, Jarell, and you
And you
too,
as well, brother.
Drew, in what you're doing.